So in the last class, we have seen controlling deployments using classic release gates. We were doing this lab, but at that day, I think there was some issue with the portal because the pipelines were not running at that day due to some issue with the portal. So we have set up each and everything. So we started with this lab, and very first thing, already we have our project. We configured a CI pipeline, which we already did in earlier labs also, a CI pipeline. Then what we did, we created resources in Azure, like we created two web apps. We have seen all these things. We have the recording. Okay. We have created two web apps. And then after creating the web app, what we did, we created an application insight. So everyone knows that application insight is a application monitoring tool, or it is a SaaS service, software as a service provided by Azure. So we created an application insight, and then we integrated application insight, or we enabled application insight with the web app. Okay. And then what we did, we after that we created a alert in that application insight, and then we configured the release pipeline. So we created the release pipeline, but we were not able to start that release pipeline due to some issue in the, you can say, in the portal. Yes. So I already did that in the, so in the next class, in the, like in the last class yesterday, portal was fine and pipeline was running. So all that whatever the steps which were remaining with the pipeline, I uploaded that particular video into the same video, with the same video, wherever we did that lab number 7. Okay. But still we can see now because portal will be working now. So we can continue it from the pipeline side. So here in the lab number 7, we have this one video which we did where we were not able to run the pipeline, and in the lab 7 part 2, there is a full video where the issue got resolved from the portal side and we were able.
There's two videos in the same
Ah,
folder, right?
yes.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Let's see. Let's go to Azure DevOps organization. Let me create that web app again, just repeating that fourth, fifth, and sixth step for creating the web app and application insight. Already we did this in the last class, but I deleted the resource. Okay.
You're on Bash, right?
Yes, on Bash.
Yeah.
First command created the resource group. Second command will create the app service plan. And then there is a third command which will create two web apps, dev test and production one. App service plan is created. Now let's create the web apps.
Abhishek, just a question. When you create a new project on DevOps portal, do you create it on the external account or the just like the actual account, Gmail account?
No, not the Gmail account. A Gmail account, like if you are practicing individually, then you can go with that Gmail account. But in the
Mhm.
Gmail account, you will be facing issues.
Uh-huh. Not
Why?
only you
Gmail
fall
account
for
is not the member account.
uh-huh.
So you will be facing permission issues then. So that's why I asked like to create the Azure DevOps account using the directory account, default directory account, which is
Mhm. Okay.
extension at the rate.
You for permission, right?
Yes. So by
I
default,
see.
Microsoft will give all the permissions to that particular account since that is a member user.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm. So resources are provisioned now. Close this Cloud Shell. What we can do now, we can create an application inside. So let's create application inside. This is the application inside. Create resource group, the same one. Application inside name. So the name of my dev test app, I'll take as a application inside name. Choose as of now classic. After creating application inside, what you have to do, you have to integrate it with your web app. Okay. So we'll integrate our application inside with one of our web app.
Mhm.
Go to the resource. This is the application inside which is created. Now, first thing, we'll configure the alerts over here. Go to home, go to your resource group, click on dev test. In the settings section in your web app, you can see application inside. What you have to do, you have to turn on the application inside. Now here there are two options, create a resource, but we will not create since we already created. So we will select an existing resource over here. Which existing resource? Which we created just now, application inside. So we will select this one. And what we will do, we'll click on apply, click on yes. So we have enabled the application inside with our web app. Changes applied. Now you can click on view application insights data. So web app is integrated over here now. Now what you have to do? You have to schedule for the alert. Now, why we are scheduling this alert or starting this alert, we'll come to know when we'll run the pipeline. Okay. Since we are testing our release gates. Okay. So create an alert rule over here. Now here condition. So I'll select for failed request. Okay. In the failed request section, threshold, I'll select static only, aggregation type count, operator greater than unit count, threshold value I'll keep 0 as of now. Go to actions. I don't have to do anything in the actions as of now. Click on details. Now in the details, severity, I'll raise warning, second. Okay. And alert rule name. So I'll be giving one name to the alert rule. Alert rule name, any description? No. Advanced options automatically resolve alerts cleared. So advanced option automatically resolve alert cleared. Okay. That should be checked. Next, review and create. There's a pricing for each and alert, 0.10 USD per month. Okay. For one condition. How many conditions you will be adding? According to that, 0.110 USD every month. Alert rule created. So there is an alert rule which is created. As of now, there are 0 alerts. No alert. Now, once this is done, what we do, we'll configure the release pipeline. Okay. So we'll go to our Azure DevOps organization over here. Okay. Default directory. Go to our organization. Go to our project. Now in this project, if you go to the click on the pipelines, we already have that CI pipeline with us. We already have that CI pipeline with us. So configure the release pipeline. We'll go directly to the release pipeline. Okay. So in the release pipeline, we'll see what are the options available. So if you click on the releases, create a new pipeline here. Select Azure App Service. Since we are deploying the app service, we'll be selecting Azure App Service deployment. Click on. Now there is a stage 1. So we'll give the name as dev test to this stage. Dev test. Okay. We'll close it. What we'll do? We'll clone another stage over here. And we'll give next stage the name as production. Okay. Where is that? Production. Now what we'll do? We'll add an artifact over here. So eShop on web CI pipeline. Okay. So we'll add that artifact eShop on web CI. This is the one. From where we need the artifact. Add it. And in the lightning bolt, this is the lightning bolt. Here we will enable the continuous integration. Close it. Go to the task. Click on the task. Now dev test setting. Now here what we'll do, we'll not create any service connection now. We'll directly authorize. Okay. How? Choose the subscription. Choose the subscription. So you can see one Azure service connection is already authorized. We authorized it earlier. Maybe this will work for us. Otherwise, if it was not there, you can select this subscription and you can click on authorize. It will authorize for you. So when you authorize directly the subscription, in the parameter section, at the back end, it creates a service connection for you. Okay, like this one. Then web app on Windows, app service name is dev. Okay, so this is all set. Now let's go to the web app. So this is the service connection, then dev test tab. Now here, system default working directory. Now star.zip. So we have web.zip file over there. Whatever we have built, there we have web.zip. So again, if I show you here, your eShop on web project, pipelines and the CI pipeline, here if you'll go, you have artifacts. Hmm. Two artifact. One is bicep, one is website, web.zip. So we have to apply web.zip. So directly what we'll do, we'll give that web.zip over there. Okay. So instead of star.zip, you can give web.zip. This is done. Go to pipeline, click on again task. Here again, you can take that service connection with you, web app on Windows, app service name. Here you will take production. Then everything is set over here. Just need to change the package folder. Okay, web.zip. Now what you can give the name to the pipeline, eShop on web CD. Name of the pipeline. Now what you can do, you can save the pipeline. Now if you'll go to the releases, your pipeline is saved. eShop on web CD. Now we have done all these steps till here, created the pipeline, set up the pipeline, authorized everything, set up till here. Now on all pipelines, eShop on web pane, navigate to the pipeline tab, and this time within the production stage, click one job, one task. All these things we have set up. This till here. Now all pipelines, eShop on web CD, click save and save the dialog box, click OK. You have now successfully configured the release pipeline. In the browser window displaying the eShop on web project, in the vertical navigational pane in the pipeline section, click pipelines. On the pipeline pane, click the entry representing eShop on web CI and run the pipeline. Now what we'll do, we'll run the pipeline. So which pipeline we'll run? As of now, we'll run the CI pipeline. This is a CI pipeline. Okay. So let's run this pipeline. Now we already enabled the trigger over there. So what it will do, it will deploy from this particular build, since we have chosen this build to deploy from the release pipeline. So this is a simple CI/CD what we are doing as of now. Okay. So here CI will build your job, produce some artifact, and the artifact will be consumed by the CD pipeline or the release pipeline, and it will deploy in both the stages, dev, test, and production. Okay. After that, in the second exercise, we'll see how we can apply the gates. So we have seen there were 4 to 5 options in the gate section in the release pipeline. Once this is completed, we'll see all those options. Okay. After the build is finished, in the vertical navigational pane, we have to go to the pipelines, click releases eShop on web CD, and click on the entry representing the release, eShop on web release 1. So since we have an automatic trigger, so automatically it will create release 1. Then switch to the Azure portal interface, navigate to the resource group, list your web app, dev test web app, and click browse. Similarly, browse the production one also. Close the web browser displaying the eShop on website. So once this is finished, till here we will be configuring our release gates. Oh, almost done. Hit it. Go to release. If there is a release one over here. It has been queued. Hmm. So deployment is successful in the dev test and it is going as of now in the production. Deployment and production also completed. Release is succeeded now. So let's go and configure the gates. Configure pre-deployment gates for approvals. In this task, you will configure a pre-deployment gate, switch to the web browser window, displaying Azure DevOps portal, and open the eShop on web project. In the vertical navigational pane in the pipeline section, click release gates, eShop on web CD, click edit. On all pipelines, eShop on web, on the left hand, rectangle representing the dev test environment. Okay. Click the oval shape representing pre-deployment condition on the pre-deployment condition pane. Set the pre-deployment of approvals as enabled. So what we have to do, first we will go to our pipeline, edit our pipeline. In the pipeline, there is a pre-deployment condition and there is a post-deployment condition. In the pre-deployment condition, what we'll do, we'll go and pre-deployment approvals. In the real-time scenario, you will not give your name or okay. And if you are creating the pipeline, most probably this should be checked. The user requesting a release or deployment should not approve it. Okay. Close this one, save it, and again create a release. Now see, there is an approval. Once approved, it will be queued up and it will deploy your web app again. So this is the first exercise where you can give the approver like this. In the second exercise, you will configure the post deployment gates. So what we'll be doing, we'll be configuring the Azure monitor here. Now there are 4 to 5 things which can be configured in the post deployment gates. Okay, we'll check once this is completed. What is post deployment gate and how we can trigger that. This is completed now. After completing what you have to do, you have to go to the task number 2, configure post deployment gates for Azure Monitor. In this task, you will enable the post deployment gate. So where you have to go on the again on the CD pipeline, click on the CD pipeline, click on edit. Now we have configured the pre-deployment conditions. Now there are post deployment conditions also. Click on that. What you will do here, enable the gates. That's what they have written. On the post deployment condition, get the gate slider to be enabled. Click add in the pop-up menu, click query Azure monitor alerts. Now here, as you can see, there are number of gates. Check Azure policy compliance, invoke Azure function, invoke REST API, query Azure monitor alert, and query work item. So for example, we are seeing here query for Azure monitor alert. Since we have configured the application inside, so we'll be querying for Azure monitor alert. Now here, Azure subscription, then the resource group. After selecting all this, you can click on advanced. In the advanced filter type, select this as let it be none. CVRT, I want all the CVRT alerts to be taken into account for these gates to be set up. CVRT 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then time range past hour. What we have taken in the time range past hour. Okay. Alert state acknowledged, new and fired. Alert stage acknowledged and new alert. Monitor condition fired. Okay. So advanced condition is set. What else? Evaluation options. So here the time between re-evaluation of gates, let's take it to 5 minutes. And the timeout for which gates will fail, say for example, 8 minutes. On successful gates, ask for approvals. So this is all set over here. Cross and save. So now we have set the gates over here. What type of gate we have set? Query Azure Monitor Alert. Okay, you can set other gates also, but let's see one example as of now. So query Azure Monitor Alerts. Now we saved this pipeline. Now after saving this pipeline, test the release gates. Test the release gates. In this exercise, you will test the release gates by updating the application, which will trigger the deployment. Update the deploy application after adding release gate. In this task, you will first generate some alert. So we'll first generate some alert. Okay. From the Azure portal, browse the dev test web app resource folder from the URL pin. Now, how to generate an alert? So we have configured a failed alert, failed request alert. Okay. This is production. We have not configured for the production. We have configured for our dev test as of now. So what we'll do, we'll open this one. Now we know that there is a login, then there is a brand type, each and everything. There is nothing like discount over here, discount like this. So if we go through this URL, the request will fail since there is no discount option available. So see, the request is failed. Now what we'll do, we'll request number of times the same link. So we requested number of times over here, failed request. Now this will log the failed request. This will log the failed request. Now if you'll go to the application insight, you go to the application insight, the application insight, you will notice the failed request. These are the failed requests. Number of failed request, it is logging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think number of failed request we overall 4. Okay. Failed request count. Now let's again go there. We have logged that failed request. From the Azure portal, search services, docs, field, enter application insight and select dev test app insight resource created in the previous exercise next to navigate to alerts. There should be at least one new alert with the severity 2. So for this thing, we should have a warning alert. We should have a warning alert. So if you see the alerts over here, see, can you see one alert has been generated now? Now if you click on this alert, it will show in the Azure monitor. Okay. It will show you the graph and all. Okay. Here. So one alert has been fired and it has been logged. Okay. So now what we can do? Return back to the Azure DevOps portal on eShop on web, navigate to the pipeline, release pipeline, eShop on web, click release button. Wait for the release pipeline to kick off and approve the dev test. Okay. So now here we'll create another release now. We'll approve this one. Now there are gates applied over here, post deployment gates. Wait for the pipeline release to kick off and approve the dev test release action. Wait for the dev test release stage to complete successfully. Notice how post deployment gates is switching to an evaluation gate status. Click the evaluation gate icon. For the query monitor alert, notice an initial failed status. Let the release pipeline in pending state for the next 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes did pass, notice the second evaluation failed again. This is expected behavior since there is an application insight alert. So since we have configured for the gated alert, okay? So it will not let that thing into the production unless the evaluation is completed. So evaluation to start in 5 minutes. Evaluating the gates. If you click on this, see query monitor alerts. So whatever gates you will configure, it will go through all the gates first. So it will pass the same in the next 5 minutes. Similar way, you can create a gate for the work item as well. Similar way, you can create a gate for function app, gate for API, invoke web request. So there are 4 to 5 types of gates which you can create. So in this way, if there is any alert, a severe alert, then it will not let you deploy your website into the production until and unless this is resolved or it has been evaluated completely. Wait a couple of minutes and validate the status of the release gates again. Within a few minutes after the initial release gates got checked, and since the initial application insight got triggered with the action fired, it should result in successful release gate allowing the deployment to the production state. So after 8 minutes, it will not be getting any alert in the second time. So then it will pass the deployment to the production. Okay. So why this time is allowed? Gate in the pre-deployment conditions, because in that particular time you may take some action for those alerts. Okay. So you can keep not only in minutes, you can keep in hours also. Evaluation time. Let this get processed. Until then, we can see next lab like configure pipelines as code with YAML. It
was a long project.
Pardon?
It was a long project. A lot of work.
So here you will learn how you can write a YAML pipeline and all. Okay. See, we have covered this now today. So if you don't go through the second part, then it's also okay. But whatever we did in the lab number 6, Docker, Docker concept. So there are two Docker file concepts. These two concepts, go through these two videos, you will be able to write a Docker file, how to write a Docker file and all. These are important. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, Docker here I have covered in this lab number or class number 38, which is lab number 6. Now, here we'll be learning YAML. Then in the 9th section, we'll see the some test, how to run the test. Then we'll see Azure Key Vault also, how to integrate Azure Key Vault with the Azure DevOps. Then the lab number 11, there is a dynamic configuration and feature flag. We'll learn how to write bicep templates. Then we'll be implementing security and compliance in the Azure DevOps pipeline. Okay. And there is then SonarQube. Okay. So we'll be seeing the Sonar Cloud and SonarQube in the lab number 14. So in the enterprise tools, we have seen Docker. We will be seeing the SonarQube also, and then Azure Artifacts monitoring. We will be seeing application insight and log analytics in the monitoring. And then I think 5 to 6 classes we will cover up this labs. And after that, 1 or 2 topics will be left from the enterprise tool, that is Jenkins. I'll tell that separately, and Kubernetes. Okay, and Terraform. Topics will be left after this. Okay, so
Those are separate, right?
pardon?
Those are separate, right?
Those are separate enterprise tools. Okay. So like how we are running a CI/CD pipeline over here as a, like you can say, build and release pipeline. With the Jenkins, you can run that particular, you can create a single pipeline and you can create a run over there in the with the Jenkins also. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see how you can integrate Jenkins with the Azure DevOps. So I think 6 to 7 classes over here to complete all these labs, and then 3 to 4 classes for Jenkins, Terraform, and Kubernetes. So that will complete DevOps. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we will start with solution architect or when Abhishek.
Yes. Solution architect. Yes.
There are any labs for solution architect?
Pardon?
There's labs also for solution architect?
No, Microsoft didn't provide any kind of labs for solution architect, but yeah, we have a kind of course. So in that course, 60% part almost is theoretical part, because what all you learn in the solution architect is all designing part only, mostly 60% to 70%. And then 30 to 40% is implementation. For example, like you got a project and you have to develop and deploy the project into a virtual machine solution. You're deploying some project into the virtual machine. So you need to learn how to design a virtual machine solution, how to design a storage solution, how to design. So with each and every service, you will be learning how to design that particular solution. So designing part will be mostly theoretical. You have to learn how you can design with all what.
Coding or
No, not coding, not coding. Yeah,
this is design.
yeah.
I see.
So that part will be there. 60% will be designing, and then 40% will be implementation of that particular design. So mostly it will be theoretical. See, second time it has failed. So
Yeah.
first time, second time. Now third time it will pass. Oh shit. No, it will again fail because As
You did 8 hours,
mistakenly
right?
timeout has set 8 hours. That's why. Okay. It
I
should,
know from the beginning.
it should be 8 minutes. It should be 8 minutes. Now again it will fail. So it
I
will
saw that you
it
put
will
8
keep on
hours.
failing.
Yes.
It will keep on failing for 8 hours. Okay. If I would have said that 8 minutes, it should have passed in the third time.
You can't cancel and edit it, or
9, 5. So it will not let the deployment go to the production. It will keep failing. Okay. Until it's 9, 5, it will fail again. No, it has been passed. Okay. 8 minutes only we have set. Let's say 8 hours. Now it will go to the production. Here you will see in the next lab multi-stage YAML pipeline. So with the application insight in the overview, you can see number of requests, field requests, server time. You can see the live metrics also. Your application is running, you can see the live metrics also. See, live metrics. CPU total, incoming request. As of now, there are no incoming requests. So if you browse the URL again and again, then incoming request it will give. Then the availability. So it will show you the availability. So for seeing the availability, what you have to do, you have to add the test, add the URL, then only it will show the availability. Okay. Failure count, performance. See, it will show you the performance like get request, get images, banner, products, PG, all those things, duration, count, number of count, everything. You can drill down to each and everything performance of your particular application which you deployed using the Azure Application Insight. So people from the development side, they will keep coming to you to drill down the logs on the application inside, so that you can provide them these outputs, and according to that, they can improve their application code. Okay. So this is the lab for today. Next class, we'll see the how to configure a YAML pipeline, and then setting up and running the test. We'll complete 2 labs in the next class, okay? 8.1 and 9.1.
Yeah, perfect.